Hey everyone, welcome back to Unicorn Dust Designs. If you're new to my channel, my name is Sammy. Today we are taking Dollar Tree items to a whole nother level. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Getting right into this DIY with some IOD molds. I have not used this mold in a very long time and it is perfect for so many crafts. I am taking my cornstarch and then I am taking the DOS air dry clay. Had to think about that for a minute. You guys, this air dry clay, I did not even package it right, like to store it. And when I took it out, it was still like wet and moldable and like ready to go. I was pretty impressed. So I am just going to put that into our mold, press down. I'm going to use the lip of the molds to get the excess off. Once I have all of them in there, I'm going to flip it upside down and kind of peel it back so that those molds just pop out. I'm going to take these Dollar Tree planters. You can see this one has an embossed crab on it. Definitely not the vibe that I was going for, but we are going to completely transform this. So I'm going to take the tags off. I also take the nautical rope off as well. Now taking one of the bigger molds, I'm going to grab the Tight Bond Quick and Thick glue, and I'm going to rub that all over the back and then plop that over our crab and mold it to the shape of our planter. I'm going to let that set up so that it dries and it doesn't move on us. And in the meantime, I'm going to use another mold. Now this one is a lot more detailed, and this is where I love using the resin because I would be able to just pour it in and leave it alone. It'll dry in 10 minutes. With these more intricate shapes, it's a lot harder to use the air dry clay, but I definitely made it work. It took a little bit more extra time, but it comes out. It's so stunning. So I make two of these. I'm going to take, you guys have all seen this planter at Dollar Tree, right? It has the embossed like flowers and garden. Well, we are going to cover that. We're going to plop that on there. I do not want to say that this is my original idea. I got this from Jamie Ray Vintage. I think she did it last summer. And that is where I got this inspiration from. So I just wanted to show you, in order to do the opposite side, I taped this mold down because the glue wasn't completely dry yet. So in order to flip it around and do the other side, I needed to tape it. Now I'm taking that Quick and Thick Tight Bond again, rubbing it. Don't be afraid to get all dirty, okay? Sometimes you gotta get dirty. And then I plop it on there. And again, I'm going to tape this and allow it to dry. It did shift a little bit, but I was able to luckily fix it before it completely dried up. Now I'm taking this plaster by Waverly, and we are going to grab our salt wash. Now I sell salt wash on my website now, unicorndustdesigns.com, and it is an additive for paint. So it's kind of like using baking soda, but this is actually made for paint, and it is not going to dry down flat. This is going to give you so much texture. So the more you add, the more texture you're going to get. There's no like certain ratio to use. You could see, oh, this is going to be good. All right, so I mix that up in my bowl with a chip brush. Now I'm going to take that planter, and I am not looking for necessarily peaks like in my last videos I've shown you. I'm just kind of doing like a messy brush. I'm going like back and forth, up and down, a little bit of stippling here. I'm like pouncing on the planter with the side of my paintbrush. I'm having fun. I'm trying new things. And that is what is fun about the salt wash, is kind of just stepping out your comfort zone and having fun with it. So when you are doing this with molds, make sure that you are getting up under the mold. Not saying that it's completely lifted, but you will see that little bit if there's any raising. So make sure you get nice and around your mold. Now on top of your mold, to still be able to see your detail, you're going to stipple it on like you did the rest of the planter. But then you're going to take a clean paintbrush and you're going to go back over it to kind of pull some of that salt wash off of there in order to see the details again. So you can see I'm really getting in the petals and pulling back that salt wash because I still want to see all of that. And look at you guys, look at that texture. All right, I do this same thing for this one as well. And the salt wash is going to completely cover those embossed letters for us if our mold wasn't able to cover it um, itself. Now I'm taking, this is Cora Abella by Sweet Pickens Milk Paint. And y'all, I finally figured it out. You need to use hot water, like hot water when mixing this, and then it works. It was as simple as that. All right, so this wasn't necessarily going to give me like the crackle. I just really wanted to use this color and it did not disappoint. So I am just going to take my paintbrush, and again, like the salt wash, you want to make sure to get around your mold very well. And then I am just going to paint the rest of our piece. Now you want to completely allow it to dry down before doing our next step. I do the same thing to the other pail. This color is just gorgeous. Now, I'm taking a wet towel, and I tried it with a baby wipe, but it just wasn't enough. So got the wet towel and I'm rubbing that down, and you can see as I'm rubbing it back, you're going to get to see that plaster color coming through and that beautiful texture so that it looks worn and beautiful. Look at that. The detail on the flowers and all of that texture. That is exactly what salt wash is going to do for you. And it could look like stone, weathered wood. It doesn't matter. It's all going to be just about the process that you choose to use. I do the same thing for this, but you guys, I ran out of paint, so I made some more. And then I painted it. I came back, and I guess I didn't distress the other side enough because I went back over this side and ended up distressing too much where my letter A ended up popping through. You can see it right there. But it's okay because in the end, the eye doesn't go there. It goes to the mold, and you could always flip it around to the other side. So I just distressed the mold, and this is how they turned out. You guys, nobody would ever, ever, ever believe that these were Dollar Tree planters. Like, look at how beautiful that stone aged texture looks, the molds, the beautiful two-tone. I even put some gold wax on this flower right here. Stunning. All right. Now, you guys have seen these gnomes. Come on, we all have seen these gnomes, and what's awesome about them is they aren't like a glassy texture. I'm taking Kissing Booth by DIY Paint, and this is a really fun color. I've only used it once before, and I'm just taking my 1/2-inch chippy brush, and I am going to get all up in the nooks and crannies of this gnome. Now, keep in mind the gnomes at Dollar Tree do come in like different, like their hands are doing different things, so get a variety of them. For the second one, I chose to use Old 57 by DIY. So we are using some fun colors. Now, I know gnomes aren't everybody's thing, but stick around because you're going to want to see this. It is beautiful. If you like gnomes, comment gnome down below. If you don't like gnome, then I don't know, comment with the sun. All right, so now I'm going to go over with the clear wax, and we're doing the clear wax because I want to go in with dark wax. And if I were to have just left this alone, that dark wax was going to absorb into my paint and I wouldn't be able to wipe it back like I'm going to be able to later. So I do that for both of the gnomes, clear wax. After I apply that clear wax, we don't let it dry down. We are going to do it right after we apply that clear wax. I'm going to take the white wax first. I am doing a stippling motion on this. If I were to brush this on, it would give us like a, what do you call it? Like cloudy, buffed out look. But we want this white wax to settle into all of the fine details of the gnome. So that's why I'm stippling and not brushing it. Once I get all of that on, I'm going to take a paper towel and we're going to wipe back that wax. So you can see I am just doing this very gently. I'm not going hard on it. And then I will turn it on its side and I'll start getting the face. And you can see how, like just in its little facial expressions, how that wax sits in there and really allows it to pop. Now I just fold up my paper towel and I get into all of the crannies. And look, even the belt, like that very detailed belt, how the wax sits in there and allows it to pop. If I were to have brushed that wax on there instead of stippling it, I wouldn't have gotten that bold detail like that. Now for the old 57, we are gonna go in with the dark wax. Again, stippling this in. This is a stencil brush from Dollar Tree. And I am getting that. I'm pushing it into all the details. And again, we wipe it back just like that white wax, making sure you don't want like a heavy amount sitting in the nooks and crannies. You want to wipe back the excess, and then that wax is going to sit in those details. And that is where you are going to find the pop, the bang. Look at how gorgeous these are. These are going to be beautiful scattered around somebody's booth or home. They definitely look like higher end decor you would find at Kirkland's or Home Goods or whatever. I love them. Gnomes aren't usually my thing, but these are so stinking adorable and they look so classy. Let me know what you think. All right, everyone, what do you think about today's crafting? I thought this video would be great for those of us that have started off as Dollar Tree crafters and are starting to kind of like evolve our craft, try new things, and to show you how you can take some of your stash that you already have and turn it into beautiful high-end decor. And yes, I'm using the word high-end because in my opinion, I think they are. So I hope you guys are enjoying the techniques. I hope it's inspiring you to get some of that stash out. And if you guys are digging me, digging the channel and digging the DIYs, then make sure to like and be sure to comment. It's an absolutely free way you can help me out here on YouTube. They see that you guys are enjoying the content and they're more likely to share it out on, just share it out. Geez, I need to just stop talking so much. Anywho, all of my links are down in the description box. And with that said, let's go ahead and finish the rest of this video. When I tell y'all that I have an unlimited supply of Dollar Tree stuff that I still need to go through, and don't forget, I got those Dollar Tree mystery boxes available. I'm not kidding. And to be honest, do you guys see those? The balls? I know they're kind of hard to see. Why did I think I needed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 of them. Why? But because we have so many, we are going to grab these and we are going to turn them into a high-end decor piece. You saw my hoard of balls. We are going to get some of the molds that we made earlier, and I push it over one of the smooth textured balls just so that I could kind of get the shape of it. Then I put my glue on, put that on there, and I'm going to set it aside so that that glue can dry up. Now, this one I had a vision. It didn't quite come out the way I expected it to. But I took these like little medallion shapes. I put a tiny one at the top, and then I go around on the flat surfaces on the sides, and I stick these on. Now, as I continue to go around, I need to hold them in place with some painter's tape so that they don't fall in the process of drying up. So you'll see as I go around, I have to keep putting the tape on so that when I turn it around, it doesn't shift on me. Now taking elephant gray and the salt wash. And just so you guys know, salt wash does come in a 10-ounce can, 42-ounce, and then there is an awesome starter kit. So check that out on my website. The link is in the description box. Now, this textured ball was perfect because I didn't have to do anything to it. We're just going to bring it up a notch. So I'm stippling on that salt wash mixture. I do it for all of the balls that I created, making sure again that we get up on the sides of our mold. Look at that texture. You could already see it. I'm not going for high peaks on this one with the salt wash. I wanted it to be just a little bit more subtle, a little bit more smooth. So I didn't add a lot of salt wash here. Now this one shifted while it was drying, but that's no big deal. I'm just going to add a little bit of that elephant paint, and I'm going to get underneath there, allow it to dry, and then we'll move on to our next step. This step is great for people that do not have white wax. I am just doing a dry brush. So I got white chalk paint and I wiped literally almost all of it off my brush. Now I am brushing it over that salt wash mixture, and you can see how this is starting to look like a stone. You could see the texture coming through on that paint. So it is a great alternative to wax, except you aren't going to have the flexibility that you would have with wax. So, like, you're not going to be able to wipe it back. You're not going to be able to dull it down if you don't like how bright it is. Um, so, just keep that in mind. And it's very permanent. Unlike the wax, you can add clear and wipe it back. But this was a great way of getting my ball hoard that I stashed. Don't know why I bought all of these balls. And then just turning them into something new. I think it's beautiful decor. They almost look like the stone garden balls that you see out. And this one's definitely my favorite. This one was very effortless. And then the other one looks like a UFO. Okay, it's a UFO. That copper pot is available on my website. Yeah, this one looks like a UFO. It wasn't quite what I envisioned. But we made it work. We made it work. So if you bought a bunch of these balls and don't know what to do with them, here you go. And just wanted to remind you, I go live every Thursday at 9 p.m. Central on YouTube and Facebook to craft after my thrift haul, which is at 6 p.m. All right, so I had extra milk paint and I do not waste any paint. So I am taking one of the wood plaques from Dollar Tree, and then I'm also going to take one of the Dollar Tree picture frames as well. And I'm just gonna use this extra paint, and then we're gonna make something with them, of course. No, I'm just showing you how to paint, you guys. I'm just kidding. So we're gonna start with the frame. I distressed this down. It did a little bit of chipping for me. It is the milk paint. And then I'm going to sand this down with my sanding block, and you can see it has like a creamy color to it. It has some gray peeking through. Sorry if you hear that. My husband's in the garage. I'm going to take one of my bird resin molds, and I am going to paint this. I feel like I used Cashew on this by Waverly. And now I did not use clear wax on top of the bird. So when I go to do my next step, which is adding the gray wax to my bird, it really stuck to the paint. So when I go to, and this gray wax is on my Amazon store link, you guys. So when I go to wipe it back, the gray is like sticking to that paint. It doesn't want to move as much as if I were to have put the clear wax on first and then wiped it back. So it was a little darker than I had wanted, but that's okay. It still works and it went well with everything. Now I'm going to take the Gorilla Glue, and I'm going to glue that on. However, it only attached to certain parts of the frame. So once that dried up, I did get my glue gun, my detail glue gun, and I ended up putting a little bit more under there. So now I'm going to take the glass insert, and I'm going to take that cashew, and I'm going to do a nice smooth coat. I do 2 coats of this, and after I do the 2 coats, I'm going to take liquid patina, and I'm going to put a thin coat on this. And I'm doing that because I'm going to use a transfer, and I didn't want my transfer to peel up the paint that is on that glass. Now I take the transfer. This is an IOD transfer. I think it's from, is it called Weeping Willow? Maybe not. I don't know. But also get this from Bonda at Painted Heirloom. I'm going to use my scraper tool, and I am going to rub that transfer down, pulling back the carrier sheet, and then burnishing it. I'm going to pop that back into our frame, and this flower just looks so beautiful with the frame and the bird. All of the colors came together, and I know y'all have a frame stash from Dollar Tree. I know you do. So get them out and make some beautiful decor with some transfers and molds. Oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, this last one. I'm taking the wood plaque, and I'm going to sand all of the edges down. Then I'm taking these beautiful pieces of paper that my girl Kendra sent me from Late Night Creations. I will try and remember to leave her link down below, but she sent me all these. I'll ask her what the link is for, because oh my gosh, these pieces of these papers were absolutely gorgeous. So I picked between these two, but I ended up going with this one. I really liked the green, and it's crazy when you're crafting how you'll see something and you're like, yes, that's it. Okay, I know what to do now. So I'm going to take Liquid Patina by DIY. You could also use Mod Podge, whatever you have available to you. And I am going to put a good coat of that on the front of the plaque. I'm then going to take my piece of paper and I'm going to lay that on top, and we are going to smooth that down. Once it is dry, I'm going to take my sanding block, and in downward motions, I am going to take that excess paper off. This is such an easy way of, instead of like trying to cut it down to size and all of that, just do this, way easier. Now taking the frame from that I created from one of my IOG molds, I'm taking Monet's Garden and I'm going to paint that. I really need to learn the names of the molds because I'm sure that would be a lot more helpful to y'all. But the DIY paints I get from upcycledbybrie.com. I'm going to paint that. Then I'm going to come in with brushed bronze alchemy wax. And I get this from Bonda as well. And I am just going to hit the frame. Now, at first, I didn't use my finger to do this like I usually do because I didn't know what I wanted to do with the middle of the frame. So I didn't want a chance getting it on there. But this was a great way of getting all of those details on the frame to pop back through for us. I'm going to grab decoupage paper, and this is the Royce Cycle decoupage paper. Look at how many images are in here. And I get it from Sonnet's Garden and Bloom. Her link is also in the description box. You get so many images, you guys. It's beautiful. See all those? Ooh, and those bird ones are from there too. Okay, so now I'm going to take that decoupage paper and I'm just going to press it down so that I get the shape. I'm going to cut that down to size. Now, obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but we're going to try and get it as perfect as possible. So after cutting it down a few times, I get it to where I want it to be. Now, I know usually you would paint the background of your decoupage paper with white paint. However, I was not going for that look. I wanted this to kind of look dark and moody, I guess. So taking the liquid patina, I put a good coat on there. I'm going to lay the decoupage paper on top. And then with whatever I had left on my paintbrush, I'm going to use that to start smoothing down the decoupage paper. And y'all, this decoupage paper is so awesome. It smooths down so beautifully. If you think you have wrinkles, once it starts drying down, they start smoothing out, and it's so awesome. Don't know why I did that. I think like chef's kiss. I don't know. So I cut that back. I do another layer of the liquid patina. Now I'm going to grab my Gorilla Glue, put that on. I like using the Gorilla Glue because it's a long-term hold, but you still can kind of move it around. And this turned out absolutely beautiful. So do not skip out on the Dollar Tree wood stuff, because now this wood plaque has all new life, all new meaning. It turned out so beautiful. Everything just came together. The image, the decoupage paper, the paper in the background, the frame, it's beautiful. And that green frame in the background is available on my website as well. Thank you guys so much for spending your time with me. I always appreciate it. I always try to make my videos shorter, but I talk too much and I explain too much. So I apologize, but I appreciate you all spending the time with me nonetheless. Have a good one. That is not the song. Okay. And to check on you to can we get it right? Yeah, I need to stop talking so much.